Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin here today with another video, and today's topic is Rinko, Akiyama Rinko. We're going to be looking at Rinko today. I'm going to just go ahead and showcase a suppress, an assist, and protection build all in one video, because I know she is coming out for free players tomorrow, and anyone who has 1,000 gems will be able to purchase her. So I want to get a video out there just showcasing her three playstyles as soon as possible, so that everyone can decide, how they want to use her and go from there. So first we are going to be looking at her suppress build. So here we have her skill setup we will look at first. You're going to have the Kochao Ranbu. Basically it will lunge forward and launch a slashing strike performing an area attack. This one set from suppress will add 3 additional attacks. The 2 set will add a knockback attack at the end of the skill, and the 3 set will increase critical damage by 250%. And this is how the skill looks. You hold the button, charge, release, and it does a multi-hit with a knockback. Next we will look at the bread and butter skill, Spatial Rift. During an extreme dodge, creates a Kutan power area pulling enemies towards it. The 2 set for suppress will increase the duration of this skill by 50%. Here is how it looks. Simply dodge at the right time, and then you get a nice little vortex. Next we will look at the shift. Teleports into the gap between enemies, aiming and attacking their weak spot. The 2 set will stun the enemy. Simply double dodge, and you get this sweep. So the combo basically here would be to Spatial Rift, suck the enemies in. While they're clumped together, use the shift to mass stun them, and then that will allow you the time to safely charge for Kochao Ranbu for big damage. Looking at the supporters, we are going to be using Mitsuki as our main. The reason being is she does provide a nice cooldown of supporter skills passively, and her ability works wonderfully with the build because it actually knocks up all enemies. So unlike Rinko and Homura here, whose AoEs knock back, Rinko simply knocks up. So when the enemies are all sucked into one place, they'll be popped up and give you another opportunity to charge your Kochao Ranbu, besides the shift. So you have 2 ways to link your combo. So if she's on cooldown, you use the shift. If she's off cooldown, you would probably prioritize using her over the shift for more damage and easier execution. And I will be showcasing this. Next, the second supporter will be Sonata Homura. She does provide a beefy damage increase. Currently she's S level 4, and that is giving 26.3% damage, with the only negative being that I would take 10% more damage while using her. At level 5, I believe that does jump to 30%. So it works beautifully with the build. And then we are using Rinko to increase critical rate of melee attacks by 14%. And again, the reason for not using these 2 as the mains is because their AoEs knock back and they don't synergize well with the Vortex. For weapons, I will be using the Yomi-Gumo for all 3 builds, with the Kirin as a sub. I've read that people find the Kirin stronger, and whenever I see videos like of the JP server, even though they're far and few, people are using the Kirin. I personally like the Yomi-Gumo better because of the it debuffs enemies as you crit. It increases the damage dealt per target. So if you're doing AoEs and getting AoE crits, everything's getting a little shield over their head to show their defense is down, and she's just doing more damage. So it's honestly looking more consistent than the normal attacks have a 5% chance to deal 120% damage and make the target groggy. Personally, that's just my opinion, but I am finding it a lot easier to do things or get things done with the Yomi-Gumo. This is her stat sheet. And from here we will showcase the first build. Be advised, she is only at 28k CP, so I will not be attempting to do hard mode on this build or the assist build. On the protection build I will do hard mode, because that build is insane. But for the first 2 builds she will be showcased on normal, just so you can see how it works. Okay, so let's try to get you guys a good example. So you would dodge, suck them in, do the shift, charge, kill. Just like that. And you would do this. You can use Mitsuki if your Kacho Rambu is on cooldown. It works kind of the same for big damage. I do like this build a lot, as it's really like it's got a strong combo with the vacuum and everything. It just doesn't feel as powerful as like her other two builds, in my opinion. Okay, same thing. Come on. Charge. Hot. Kind of botched it there, but you guys probably get the gist of how it works. It also chains into her ult, if I can just like manage to do one more. Come on, just pop the spatial rift. There we go. So you would do this into ult. Like obviously you miss, but you see the move cancels directly into it. So that will be a quick showcase of that build. I'm only going to do one daily per build since we are doing 3. I don't want the video to be like 30-40 minutes. Alrighty. So pretty fun build overall. I really like the synergy. I love how the knock up and the shift just change directly into her Kancha Rambu. It's pretty cool. I just feel like it has really low sustain, and on hard mode, the 10% extra damage taken because of Homura can be kind of a drawback, as well as like enemies with hyper armor up are kind of annoying to suck in with the vortex. But overall it's decent. Like I'm sure as she becomes higher level, that build will be viable on hard no problem because of the CC it provides. So next we're just going to change things up. We are going to put on the Mugen Hoei. We're going to change from the shift into Wind Slice. For supporters, we're going to use the usual main for assists. Our Momoko. Yuna is kind of a filler because I do not have the Hisui supporter that is up for gacha, and I do not have the new Asagi. If you really don't want to use Yuna, you could, I guess, use one of these rare assist supporters to meet the 3 set. This one would cause enemies to drop particles at a 30% up rate. Obviously, as you S level her, that will go up. And this one will cause them to drop potions at a higher rate. And as the S level goes up, so will that chance. Personally, I like Yuna better just because these require you to be killing enemies like to begin with to even get them to proc. So we'll just stick with Yuna, that way when pots do drop, she gets a nice heal. But Yuna is a filler. So I get another assist that's super rare or higher that is better. Or, you know, what have you. Anyway, moving on. So this build is going to work sort of the same way as the previous one, except we're using the Mugen Hoei as our main source of damage. How the skill works is it will perform range attacks with 2 rounds of Kutan bullets, which explode on contact. The 1 set will add 2 additional bullets. The 2 set will knock back enemies with the bullets. And the 3 set will increase critical rate by 50%. And here's a showcase of how it looks. Boom. So she kind of throws balls at them like Rando's ball from Yu Yu Hakusho, if you've ever seen that. Pretty cool. The Spatial Rift, you've seen it before. Dodge, suck enemies in. For this ability, it will increase her movement speed by 20% while active. And then we have the Wind Slice. By launching slashing strikes that looks like flashes, performs an area attack that cuts enemies along with the whole space. And what this does is it reduces enemies' defense points by 30% for 15 seconds. And this is how it looks. There we go. So, pretty much the same thing. You are going to Spatial Rift into Wind Slice, into her Mugen Hoei for big damage. With the Spatial Rift sucking enemies in, the Wind Slice debuffing their defense, and the Mugen Hoei dealing a nice clump of AoE damage to the enemies while they're gathered with the balls that come out. The reason this build works great is because the Wind Slice will debuff them 30%, and then the Mugen Hoei has a 50% chance extra to crit while it's being used, and crits with the Yomi Gumo will further debuff the enemies by additional 5% for 7 seconds up to 5 times. So as you can see, the defense debuff will get insane with this build, and it can put out really decent damage. The supporters, as we looked them over already, we'll just go into Kaoru as the main, and she increases your critical damage by 48%, which is obviously going to synergize well with the build. And her AoE will stun all enemies in place, leaving a nice opportunity to charge your Mugen Hoei, sorry. Momoko's there because the particle recharge rate is great, and as stated, Yuna is just a filler. This is how the stat sheet would look for this build. And from there, we will get right into it. Set it to normal, and hit the ground running. Same thing, we are going to just fish for a Spatial Rift to show you guys the build. You're going to do this, Wind Slice through them, and then charge, and throw your balls while they're all clumped together. You see, nice form of AoE damage with crits, and he, as you saw, was debuffed because of the critical proc, as well as the ability of Wind Strike. And the cooldowns are rather low, so this one's a little bit more spammable than the other build. Charge, toss. Again, great AoE damage. We'll just pop Kaoru to keep it moving. Okay. This one's a lot easier to execute than the other one, in my opinion anyway. It's also really, really fun to play. Okay, so we'll just fish for another. What we'll do here is we'll chain it into her ult like so. And now the defense debuff will be up while her ult hits for additional damage. We'll just go ahead and finish the boss from there. And if you're looking at the boss's life bar, you can see that the shield is on her life bar, showing that the debuffs do work on bosses. And that should finish it. There we go. Assist build is shown off and done. Alrighty. Last but certainly not least, we'll be showing off her I'm Sephiroth now build. So we're going to go ahead, change this out for a Meteor Impact. We are going to change the Wind Slice out. Actually, I'm sorry, we are going to keep that there. I had a brain fart. Okay. For this build, I will be using Haruka as a main because I like the damage to humans. Secondary will be one of these Fumas here for the damage to machines. And third will be our Onigumo for damage to demons. So pretty self-explanatory. Damage reduction from human types, additional damage to human types. Increases damage dealt to machines in the form of Fuma. Increases damage dealt to demons in the form of Onigumo. So it's pretty much just a nice I do more damage now setup while meeting the full protect requirements. We will look at the skill we are adding, called Meteor Impact. Slams down a meteor, teleported with Void Art, performing an area attack. The 1 set increases size of meteors and performs an area attack. The 2 set knocks down the enemy, and the 3 set increases damage by 150%, and this is the skill. Fires off really quick, which is just amazing. We will also be using Spatial Rift once again. Same setup. For this one, it will give additional particle recharge rate, which is nice. And we will be keeping Wind Slice on the bar because the AoE slash in this case will be making the enemies groggy, which will make them dizzy, holding them in place, making it easier to do more meteors. We again stick with Yomigumo as the main weapon and the Kirin, and we will not be coming back to this screen, so I will show people what an alternative will be. So a good super rare alternative, where is it? This sword. It increases damage dealt to demon type enemies by 40%. Obviously, as the S level goes up, that increase will get higher. So if you don't have an ultra rare weapon for her, because maybe you didn't get the pack and you're looking to get her with gems so you wouldn't have this, this is a good main weapon until you can get your hands on either the Kirin or the Yomigumo, with this being a decent sidearm for you. But this would definitely be your alternative until you can get this or this. And if you do not have this. Okay. This would be the stat sheet for the build. Now again, she is really under-geared for hard mode, but this build is kind of stupid, so I am going to just play her on hard. Because I know she can clear it. Let's hope she does not make a fool of me. So the meteors kind of feel like just another ult. So you would Wind Strike, I missed horribly, and then you would just Meteor, and you see insane damage. Okay, moving on. I'm sure most people will agree, out of every build, I do believe this one would just be insanely strong compared to the others. Like, when I'm get my Rinko level, this will be the build I'm maining, like if you all want my personal opinions. Easy peasy. The meteor hits a really hard area, so don't be shy about using it. Like yeah, gathering enemies would be best, but if you're in a situation where you can't, just pop it. It's because it deals so much damage. As you can see, the damage is literally comparable to her ultimate, as you just saw. I do loathe these ninja chicks. Alright, and boom. And the meteor also chains directly in her auto chain, as you saw there. Just simply hold the evade button down anytime during your auto chain, and she will directly cancel into the meteor. Kind of like canceling into a special move in a fighting game. Alright, let's clean this up. Come on, guys. Go. Catch this ninja. And it also chains into her ultimate. So you can be the real deal Sephiroth. Right? God, this ninja chick is so infuriating. Okay. No. Ooh. Alright. Like I said, she's really under geared for hard. It got a little dicey because she can't really take a hit yet, but as you can see, a great build. It has no issues on hard mode, like from an early level, as you can see. And with that, we will be done. We will give Rinko a nice little head pat because she did well, and she looks not happy about that, but that's okay. So, as you saw today, we looked at the assist build, the suppress build, and also her protection build. I feel like they are all very viable. Like I said, I know my Rinko isn't super high level yet. I've been focusing on like all the characters a little bit each to try to be able to get content out for them, so you all can look at kind of how I play them and draw your own conclusions or just mimic the builds if you like them. So, with this, all three of Rinko's are done. We won't be looking at her for a while. I hope this gives you guys some, ideas for when she comes out tomorrow. You'll have kind of a setup ready for her, hopefully. And if it was helpful, please like and subscribe, as it always helps the channel. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I do wish you all a great rest of your day. Good luck in your gachas, and take care.